Hello, everybody. I always almost say good morning, but technically, probably not for many of you. even those on the East Coast. Maybe it could still work. Hi, everyone. It is TBR Spin Day. It feels weird because it's technically March 1st. Not technically, like it just is. It's weird to say technically. But I was out of town last weekend, so this is when TBR Spin, the spin is happening. But usually I feel like we're always like, oh, how's the reading going for the previous month? And we just like don't know yet because, or not everybody's like read it yet, or their previous book. But now technically, ideally, we would have read it. However, I haven't. So my read for last month for February, my TBR Spin book was The Invisible Man. I'm 100 pages in. I think it's like less than 200 pages. So past halfway, shouldn't take me too much longer. But I had a wheel that was controlling my reading for the month of February. And the wheel, no matter how hard I tried, because the probability of getting this book, of getting my TBR Spin book, went up every time I spun the wheel. And yet I never got it. So yeah, I am excited for you all to see that video. I don't want to spoil any of what I did get, but it never ended up coming up. And then as I finished like the other reading that I was doing, I had a little bit of time left. So I tried to get a little bit further in it before the start of this. So I think I made it like another 40 pages from where we last left off when I read it during our last sprints. So not great, but also it's very quick. So I know that I can get through it really easily. And I am very excited to find out what I'm going to be reading next. Morning, Beth. Good morning. Okay, so it's still morning for some people. Either that or you're saying it for me because it's my morning, which it very much is. Hi, Amelia. I know it's not morning for you. Hello. I've read mine. Oh, yay. Good job, Angela. Really excited to see what's in store for this month. Me too. Hi, Marcella. Hello. I've read my book and it was an unexpected enjoyment. All right. We love those. I don't even know how I feel about this. No, I do. It's kind of funny. It's mostly just a funny book to me. I don't think that that's the intended feeling, but I just think that it's very much like a product of its time and that is making it funny. And so I didn't expect that, but I'm having like a decent enough time reading it, and it reads like quickly enough that it doesn't really matter. Although right now we're getting the science behind this guy becoming invisible. But it is just funny, like how many times we have to see him talking to a new person and then being like unable to comprehend that he's invisible, which like understandable. But I also don't want to read like multiple scenes of it. Excited to be here. Oh, I usually work on Sunday, so I don't get to view these live. So I'm excited to get here today. Oh, nice. Yeah, every once in a while we do it on a Saturday. But I had a like little puzzle competition. It was just like for a fundraiser. It wasn't like serious. I don't think they like announced or like have the scores written anywhere. We all just, I think, were told our individual time and we know like what the top 3 teams were. So it was just a pairs competition. So me and my friend went and we got 4th place, which is very exciting. I think there are roughly like 20 to 24 teams. I can't remember how many tables there were. But something, or pairs, I should say. Teams is technically 4 people puzzles. But yeah, so it was fun, but the check-in time for that was like 9:30. So I was like, well, I'm not going to be streaming before that. And I should say today's live stream is going to be a little bit shorter than usual. We'll have less reading sprints than usual because I also have things to do today. I just had more time today than I had yesterday in the morning. So, but yeah, I'm going to a friend's house, the same friend actually that I did puzzles with yesterday. And we're going to be watching with some other friends. We're doing a little tea time and we're watching Bridgerton, the second half of the current season, which I am very excited about. It has been really hard to avoid spoilers. been looking forward to this evening's read along to try and finish International Booker Longlist second book. Ooh, You're Green and Trembling, so can return it to the library tomorrow. That's awesome. Oh, and whenever I hear about people reading Booker, I'm like, maybe I should drop everything. But no, I'm not going to. I did actually get On Calculation of volume 1 recently. So I do plan on reading that. That's not on this year's long list, but it was on a previous year's long list. Actually, I think, no, not, was one on, it was like 3 or so, I can't remember now, but one of them was on a long list. So I got that, and that I think is like helping me a little bit. But I do think that there are a couple that I'm going to want to read. But right now, I'm so close to the end of Herc yet. It's like all I can think about, which I do still have some translated prompts left, but also trying to make things work for other things is kind of hard. Haven't finished my February book yet, but I'll get there eventually. Fair, same. Morning. I think my husband is more excited for the spin because he gets to pick my book from the 12 he wants me to read this year. Oh, nice. Waiting for my wife to finish getting ready so we can go to the grocery store. Nice, Anne. I have to go to the grocery store today too. I'm a book behind. That's fine. We can get there. I've somehow managed to read both months' books so far. Yay. We'll see how long I actually maintain this success. Yeah, I think I made it like pretty far into the year last year. I'm hoping to make it all the way. I mean, technically, I've already failed in that I haven't read this one, but I don't count that as a fail. If I read the books or decide to DNF them by the end of the year, then like that's a win. I finished my February book the day you spun. Oh, that's awesome. That's how I was with my January book. I didn't even read my January book in 2026. It was in 2025. Also, due to finishing knitting my favorite vest number 1. Ooh. Well, that's exciting. I've been getting back into knitting. You can see, this is my very little project so far. It's not very far, but it will be a hat eventually. And then I also am working on a sweater, but I had to get more yarn for it. So good morning. My February pick was one of my top books for the month. That's awesome. Making late lunch, 5:30 p.m. That is a late lunch. I've decided to DNF my February pick. All right. Great job coming to the decision. It's a hard thing to do, so it's always awesome to do it. My book was aggressively fine, and I'm very happy to be done with it. Aggressively fine. I finished mine, and it was both great and the biggest in my pile. Ooh, I'm actually hoping to get the biggest in my pile. I'll talk about it in a second. I finished Dying of Whiteness, How the Politics of Racial Resentment is Killing America's Heartland by Jonathan M. Metzl last month. How was it? Was it good? It's definitely close to dinner time for me, and I'm hungry. Yeah, I would be too. Actually, I'm a little bit hungry right now. I was going to start my TBR Spin book this morning, but my stack isn't in arm's reach, and my cat just sat on my lap. Well, that's it. You're stuck. Excited for March's prompt. My February book was interesting. Glad I got to it. Nice. This is my first time joining for your live. Happy to be here. Oh, yay. I'm glad you're here, Destiny. I'm read my book, Giovanni's Room. Oh my gosh, I just read Giovanni's Room. That's so funny. Oh, that's technically a spoiler for the Herkiad video, but I did just read it. I almost underlined the whole book. It was, I actually ended up like reading a lot about James Baldwin because of it, and like inspiration for it and stuff, which is also very interesting. And then I almost picked up a book yesterday at the bookstore that was, it was about James Baldwin. It's just called Baldwin, but it's like this thick, like the spine was. And I was like, I probably should read more than one book by him before I decide that that's the route that I want to go down. But I could see myself going down that route in the future. I haven't started my February book yet, as Herkiad is getting a bit intense. Yeah, for real. But I'm going to start it very soon. It's on the top of the pile now. Yes, I did enjoy my weekend away. Yeah, it was technically a little bit longer than a weekend. And I took, I think, like a day and a half off of work. And then I did also work while I was there. But yeah, I went to see my parents in North Carolina. My mom was in a play. She was in Steel Magnolias, so that was really cool. So I saw that twice, 2 nights in a row. And then I went with them to Ohio, which they live there partially, but not for very long, out of like the whole year or anything. And they were just doing a short trip, but I just joined them to go there. And it was also easier to fly back from there than it was from where they live in North Carolina. My February read worked for the Read Good Challenge, also double win. Oh, that's great. I've been listening to the audiobook Daughters Born in the Bamboo Grove from Women's Prize Nonfiction Long List. It's absolutely devastating. Oof. Tea time or tea time? I don't know what this is in reference to. I forgot. Is somebody else talking about tea time? Did I say tea time? Oh, tea time. Yes, I did say tea time. Yeah, we are having afternoon tea. I should say. So we've got, I think somebody's making scones. I'm probably going to go grab, or I'll bring tea at least. But I already talked to her about it, that like I had zero time to get stuff together. And she was like, yeah, don't worry about it. So I'll probably grab some tea, and I might grab some drinks for post tea, but during Bridgerton, and maybe like some NA stuff. I like having NA stuff when we're like doing watch parties as a non-alcoholic, because we usually have like an alcoholic drink, but then afterwards, like that's like a 30-minute drive for me to get to her house. So gotta be good. Managed to finish my February spin book this morning. I cannot believe it. I forgot that I was literally talking about tea time. Anyways, managed to finish my February spin book this morning. Oh, that's perfect. Perfect timing. Able to read my February book and loved it. Hope March will be just as good. The 4 books I put on hold from the library, they all came in unexpectedly at the same time. There goes the March TBR I had already planned. Oof. Yeah, I had a rough plan for my March TBR, and it's changed like 5 million times. Patrons, you will be getting a TBR video soon. I just keep changing what I'm going to be reading, but it's also because of the library. And also today, it plays a part in that. Got the fireplace going, hot tea, books, and cats. I'm ready. Oh, that sounds great. I think all the cats are in our bedroom because that's where the sun's coming in right now. So they'll make appearances later, probably. We'll be Netflix binging for her cat adaptations with mom, but may join for later sprints. Oh, that's fun. Can't wait to see if my spin coincides with something already in my TBR. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I need motivation today. It's my first full day off in a while, and I've been cleaning, and now we'll read. Then hopefully we'll clean again. How long will we be sprinting / how many sprints? Not much today. I'm hoping for 2, but I need to get myself together and get to the get to the spin. So, but hopefully 2. But I do have to. I do have other plans today, so unfortunately, it's not as many as normal. I missed what happened with Infinite Jest last year. Did you end up DNFing? No, no. I'm still reading it. Yes, technically, I did say that if I didn't read it by the end of the year, I was going to be getting rid of it. I decided not to do that. I have a video coming out soon of the books that I said that for. And basically the rules, I had to unhaul something else on my TBR in order to keep any books that I wanted to keep that I didn't end up doing, which I think there was like 4 or 5 books. But Infinite Jest is one of them. So I am still planning on at least continuing it. I still don't know if I want to read the whole thing, but I'm not ready to say goodbye to it yet and like DNF it. But yeah, I definitely did take a long pause on it. The Remembered Soldier, I DNF'd it the first time, but I'm absolutely enjoying it this time. Oh, that's awesome. I've heard good things about it. I know some people were excited to see it on the list. My February book was A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking by T. Kingfisher. It was my first 5-star of the year. I've had so many 5 stars this year. It's crazy. But I don't think I've heard of that one by T. Kingfisher, but I want to read more by them. I DNF my February pick and happy to move away from that. Longest on my TBR and biggest book. Oh, well, I'm glad you were able to figure out that you wanted to DNF it. Love T. Kingfisher. Yes, absolutely. Just started my February pick yesterday, An American Marriage. My book of the month pick is the new release by the same author, Kin. Oh, nice. I keep seeing that book everywhere and it's gorgeous. Also at 69% with her kid, but it becomes hard now not doing any doubles. Yeah, it is getting very challenging. Dying of Whiteness is fantastic if you aren't gun and religion happy and anti-healthcare. If you are, you might not enjoy it as much. Definitely more inclusive of everyone. Oh, nice. I'll have to look into it. It sounds good. I signed up to the library last month to hopefully get my book buying addiction under control. Yeah, I got too many books last month. I knew it was going to happen. Whenever I visit my parents, they like will take me to the bookstore and get books for me, which is really awesome. But now I'm in a pickle, which I'll have to make a video about as well at some point. My February pick was definitely underwhelming. Oh, but I did finish it, so that's good. The Duke by Matteo Melchiori. Bit of a chunky book to start international booker reading. Oh, I don't even think I recognized that as one of the books that was on the list. But I need to like read full synopses. I only read like a couple sentences from each, like right when it was released, and that was it. Oh, hello. I think I'm going to start with She Who Remains. I have 6 books from the International Booker long list. Wow. That's nice. And half the books aren't even available in the US until like September. Yeah, that's another problem. Like I didn't reach out to Booker this year to get the books. So it's like always hard in the US. Doing Herkyed, completely obsessed with Heated Rivalry. So I made a rule for myself that every 5 prompts I fulfill, I get to read 1 book in the Game Changer series, and I'm struggling. Oh, that's a smart idea though. Have you checked out the Booker Prize long list for 2026? The international, yes. I don't know specifically which ones I want to read yet, but there were a couple. I'd have to look at their names again too. The Remembered Soldier is the only one I remember like thinking that about, but probably because I've had the most conversations about it. But yeah, outside of that, I would need to have the names in front of me to remember. Currently reading The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. Still haven't read a Kristen Hanna. One of these days. Gonna catch up on homework. Oh, I had COVID this week and fell behind. Oh, I hope you're feeling better. Really need a short book because March is already out of control. My goal today is to finish Doña Barbara. I don't know what book that is. I don't think. Do I? I don't think so. Can you explain what spin? Yes, absolutely. So TBR Spin, which we will spin soon. I know that I'm not at all caught up with comments. I'm not that far behind, am I? My scrolly wheel is being weird. But TBR Spin so that's the spin portion of the TBR or of the Spin and Sprints. But TBR Spin is my year-long reading challenge where at the beginning of the year, if you start at the beginning of the year, you pick 12 books for each. So it's basically like 1 for each month is what you're going for. But you pick 12 books and that's your TBR Spin stack. And then, so there's mine currently. And then every month I do a live show, which is the Spin and Sprint, and we spin the wheel to give us a prompt. And then ideally that prompt leads us to picking one of the books on the stack. So there is a chance that it doesn't, and then you can pull from your larger TBR. There are also the possible swap slices of the pie of the wheel. So that could lead us to swapping a book off of the stack and getting a book from our larger TBR, which is officially, as of this month, a possibility. So it's really only supposed to not be a possibility for January, since like we only just picked the stack, but I forgot to put them on there for February. So now we've got them. So there is a chance that we have to do a book swap for this. And then if you do swap a book on, then you're reading the new book that's come on to your stack right away. And besides that, if you want to join late, you just have to pick the number of books left with the number of months left in the year. So if you wanted to join right now, you would pick 10 books since we're going to be spinning for the 3rd month. Does that make sense? 2 months have happened, 10 months left, 10 books. So if you wanted to join and you weren't already a part of it, that's great. If you don't want to join and you just want to do reading sprints, that's also great. It just, we still do regular reading sprints. Some people that are participating in TBR Spin aren't reading their TBR Spin books. I do. I always start my new book, but that's just to help me personally, because otherwise I might not ever read it. And so I need that extra motivation. So if I start in these, then I typically do end up finishing the book, ideally in the month, but not always. And yeah, I think that's everything. But really the only difference between the TBR Spin and Sprint live show and my regular reading sprints is that this first section takes a little bit longer because the wheel spin happens. But other than that, we just sprint the same, do reading sprints the same as normal, which if you've never seen reading sprints before, they're just like a portion of time. So I do 40 minutes for mine where we're just reading, then we take a little break, chat a little bit, and then read again for another 40 minutes. As I said, usually I like to do 3. Sometimes I've been doing 4 lately, but today I'm hoping to get 2 in, 2 40-minute sprints, but we'll have to see. But yes, great question. Okay. I'm going to real quick go through the rest of these comments and then we can spin the wheel. 1 DNF, 1 DNF and 1 great read. Oh, that is fun stats though to think about. I should really look back at my TBR spins and think about like how well they do. Then read it or eat it, spin or wheel betrayed me. Landing on Wolf Hall. Oh no. Oh, I had a hard time getting through Wolf Hall and I did like it, but I had a hard time getting through it even still. I'm currently reading The Incandescent. Nice. I have not already done the spin. Thanks. Thanks, Angie. Only 80 pages left. Awesome. The Trees by Percival German. I'm enjoying it. I think it's a wild ride. That is very similar to how I was feeling during that book. But by the time like getting to the end of it, I was obsessed. Have been listening to a couple of books in the Game Changers series and shoehorn them into the last 10 years for her kid. Oh, I haven't watched Heated Rivalry, and a part of that is because I've been thinking about reading the book, but I haven't decided yet. I've got too much other reading though. I can't think about it. I know everybody loves The Great Alone and The Women. That's the one that I have, but I haven't read it yet. I didn't have my February book, but enjoyed the 2 books I did finish last month. Well, that's good. Reading 3 Musketeers for the 600-page one. Wish me luck. Oh my gosh, good luck. Got decision fatigue. So February is too short, and that's my excuse. I like it. Just finished Inverse Cowgirl for the intersex prompt, which I recommend. It's really educational. Ooh, I hadn't heard of that one, but I'll have to look into it. Reading Phantom of the Opera. Gonna pause it in favor of Darker Shades of Magic. I mean, I'm all for that. I mean, I haven't read Phantom of the Opera. I've seen it a few times, but I haven't read it. I'm glad I can join today's live. Just finished The Silent Patient last night and I found the writing so bad. Yeah, I think if I'd read The Silent Patient when it first came out, it would have been great, but I didn't. And so I didn't think it was that great. In that, like, I hadn't read a ton of thrillers at that point, so I think I would have enjoyed it more. Great Alone is inspired by Hannah's own experiences. Oh, I didn't realize that. Is there only 13 books on International Booker? I'm pretty sure. It's always, technically it's always 12 or 13 in the Booker dozen, but it's usually 13. February's pick was Lessons in Chemistry. That's on my list, but I haven't gotten it. It was one of the first books I got. I got it in June of last year. Now I have 187. Nice. However, all but 4 of them are thrifted or secondhand. Ooh, I do like that. My watch keeps buzzing, but it's charging. So hopefully you can't hear that on my desk. Asked my husband to pick off my shelf and he picked Assist and Cry for Help to make a point. So that's what I'm reading. Love it. February pick was Gulliver's Travel and I didn't like it. It felt very anti-women. Ooh, I read it in high school and I do remember having like a positive experience with like, I don't know, I guess just like the feeling of reading a book and like really analyzing and everything, which I hadn't done in like that class was my first experience doing that. But I feel like it could have been most book, like a lot of books could have done that for me. It was more the class than the book. So yeah, I'd be curious what I'd think going back into it. Read 16 books in February is crazy. Oh my gosh. I think I only read like 6. I thought I was going to read 8, but I had 2 books that I was almost done with. Didn't finish either of them before the end of the month. Silent Patient makes me irrationally angry. Gives bad rep for childhood trauma survivors. There are a lot of thrillers that do that. I have met Alex Michaelides and he was super nice. But also like he was at his own talk. So, I mean, what author isn't going to be nice then, right? But he was a good speaker, and that's really all I can say about him. Like The Silent Patients was meh for me, and The Fury is the only other book that I've read by him, which was also meh. And I felt bad because he like signed it and everything. But oh well. All right, let's spin the wheel. Oh, I was trying to click on my on on the stream to spin it instead of on the page itself. Okay, here we go. March 7th. I've got my stack here. Oh, and I'm hoping to get The Little Friend. I haven't been going to though because oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. Um so we got our first swap prompt of the month, which is crazy because this or of the year. But this is the first month that a swap was even possible. I did put a lot of extra text on this one just because I wanted to make sure that it worked for everybody, no matter what your stack looks like. So the this actual prompt itself is to swap any book you choose with another author or another book by the same author. So if you have any book on your stack, I'm gonna have to really look at mine. I don't know. Oh, Stephen King's on there. It's probably gonna be Stephen King for me. But Ingrid confused. So for me, for example, I'm pretty sure that that's the only book I have on here that I have another author, or I have a book by the same author. So for me, I would be taking Stephen King's Misery. This is leaving my book stack. I'm picking up another book that I have by Stephen King, and that's going to be my read for March. However, if you don't have any books on here that on your stack that you have another book by that same author, then you can read, then you don't swap at all, and you're just going to read the shortest book on your stack. That's like your reward, I guess, for not owning multiple books by the same author. Okay, yeah, so exactly. You would just read the shortest book that's on your stack. I'm reading Stephen King's The Stand right now. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm actually surprised. I kind of thought when I originally wrote this one up, because originally I didn't have like the qualifier, but then as I was putting it on the wheel today, this morning, I was like, oh, but there's a large possibility that people won't have a book that works for this, and I want them to know exactly what book they're reading right away. Swapping out Every Spiral of Fate for Watch Me. Nice. I don't own any other reading my shortest. Streetcar Named Desire. Fun. Shortest. I wonder how many will have a shortest. I'm actually, I really thought that I would have more than one as an option. It does really stink that it's not Donna Tartt that I got for this one. I really wanted it to be The Little Friend. Mine is also going to be Swapping Misery for another Stephen King. Yeah, I think I have The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, and I have Pet Sematary. I think those are my only other Stephen Kings that I own. So if anybody has a recommendation of which of those two to go with, please do let me know. Shortest it is. No swap possible, so it will be Shipwrecks, which I was very keen to read. Yay. Oh, good. I would definitely prefer shortest, though. Yeah, oddly, I wanted my longest book. The reason why I wanted The Little Friend. Ooh, okay. Wait, question. So if I have Anne Lang on my TBR and I have another book by her, but not on my TBR. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yes, it has to still have been from your TBR. Our like goal for TBR Spin is to always be reading from your TBR. The 12 books that you start the year with are like supposed to be the focus, but obviously this stuff can happen. So yeah, only if you own another book by that same author, or happen to have it from the library, I guess would count. But like that's, or otherwise just read the shortest book on your stack. I'm not in the mood for Mariana Garcia. So it's a very long Ken Follett. Oh, well, I'm glad you had a choice. I'm glad somebody had a choice between them. I only have one option, so easy. Nice. Swapping up Blue Sisters by Coco Mellers and reading Cleopatra and Frankenstein, which I'm really happy about. Oh, good. Yay. Done. No problem. Swapping Lisa C books. Love it. I'll be swapping a Kristen Hanna book. A cool swap. Oh, good. I'm glad you like it. I know it's a little bit of a confusing one, but I really like the idea behind it. And I like that it prioritizes an author that you have multiple books from, even though we are swapping from the stack. Night Film. I might swap Satanago, with another one of his books. This is an exciting, interesting. Okay, love it. Yay, thank you. Love Tennessee Williams. I should read more of his. I think I've only read Streetcar, actually. Shortest book it is, Coexistence. No way I'm starting it today, though. I'm in the middle of too many short story collections right now. Swapping Hemlock with What Stalks the Deep. I almost bought that the other day. Swapping one Elizabeth Jane Howard book for the one that I'm buddy reading. With Your True Self starting today. Oh, how perfect. I own them both on Kindle. Oh, okay. Then yes, I would say that would work. If you own them on even as ebook, I think that should work. I'm kind of cheating and swapping out a book I was already wanting to start soon. It just happened I had a book by him in my stack. That is not cheating. That is playing smart. Never mind. Found a swap. Swapping what once was mine with Part of Your World. Oh, is she the one that does like fairy tale retellings? Those both sound like fairy tale retellings. Since I picked my books from the Advent Calendar stack, which is full of authors I've never heard before, there is zero chance for a swap. Yeah, true. What happens if the only books by the same author are in a series? Oh, then don't don't do it. That is a good question. Don't read another book further in the series. Do we make that then that you read the book by the author? I feel like you should read the book that's on your stack by that author. So I'm assuming that's either the first or the next book that you have to read in that series that you own multiple of. I would say go with that because I think the spirit behind the swap is reading an author that you own multiple books from, if possible. I will swap an Anna Gavalda book. Only option as well. Only option would be Hilary Mantel, but that would swap a book. And oh, I like how I literally somebody else about choosing the book from the series. You can do whichever way you want. But yes, please don't read further from your series. Oh my gosh, that was almost like nails on a chalkboard, just the thought of it. Shortest is The Lady and the Unicorn. Ended up being a smaller book in the end, in that I ended up with a smaller one. Love it. Reading The Picture of Dorian Gray for this one. I think that I have that one on my stack, but I don't have anything else by Oscar Wilde. So actually I have one book that I have multiple authors, which happens to be my shortest book, but it's a sequel. So I either have to read both or not swap. I would say just the one that was on your stack then. I did not think about series. That is a great point. I have The Shining, Green Mile, The Stand, Fairy Tale, and The Cell. I want to do Fairy Tale, but it's long and I'm already reading a couple of big ones, so maybe The Shining. Yeah, I did really like The Shining. I think of those ones, that was my favorite. Well, I mean, of those ones, I've only read The Shining, Green Mile, and The Stand. I would say in order, it would be The Shining, then The Stand, then The Green Mile, in what I enjoyed. You have 12 prompts and 12 books. Do you remove the prompts as you go? Yes. So you start the year with 12 books. If you want to participate in TBR Spin and start this month, then you would only pick 10 because we've already done 2 of them. Or you can technically go back. I have seen people go back and do the previous spins and kind of like do the challenge more quickly than like once a month. But as we get these, I take the prompt off. So a new swap prompt will replace this one. As a possibility. There's 12 prompts total on the wheel. Always 2 of those are always a swap prompt. Everything else is a normal prompt. I think last year we never got a swap, which was kind of crazy. But yeah, ideally we're picking from the stack, but we happen to get the swap prompt today. Twisted Tale series. Okay, yeah. Deep End for Mate by Ali Hazelwood. Looks like mine will be I Am Legend. You gotta read the last book in the series. That would be very devilish. Swapping to Android Stream of Electric Sheep for We Can Remember It for You Wholesale by Philip K. Dick. I've read Do Android Stream of Electric Sheep, but I have not read that second one, and that is a mouthful. And I already thought Do Android Stream of Electric Sheep is a mouthful. Okay, yeah, I would say go with that one. But if you want to do shortest from your stack, I think that's fine too. Started Jane Austen's bookshelf today. I've been doing the Goodreads seasonal challenges. It's such an interesting nonfiction read. I've been hearing good things about it. I don't know how motivated I am to read that one, but I could. There's potential. It's not off the table. Totally wasn't planning to read this, but the only book that works is swapping the Overstory by Richard Powers for Playground. Time to figure out where it works in Herkyed. Love it. Pirate's Life for Tea. I love the name of that book so much. Also, the cover is really cute. The Stone Knife with Godblind. So now I need to read both because the Stone Knife is part of my fantasy bingo. Oh. So maybe it will be Bring Up the Bodies by Hilary Mantel then. Yeah, I'll leave it up to. Oh my gosh, that's a big commitment. I don't want to tell you that. For those with series, I think you get the choice of either doing the book you have that's on your stack that's a part of that series, or if you own like more from the series, or to do the shortest. That's what I'm going to say for you all. Swapping the Road by Cormac McCarthy for all the pretty horses. I forgot to say, but hi from India. Hello to India. Fairy Tale is amazing. Yeah, I actually, that one hasn't even been on my radar. But now it might be. Be reading Phantasma due to Enchanter being in this TBR pile. And Phantasma being in my Herkyed pile. Yay! Oh, what an awesome thing. I own 2 unread Stephen King books, but they're both already in my TBR spin stack. Otherwise, I say then pick one of those because it's still in the spirit of it. But you just won't be doing a swap. And then we could just get more of us reading Stephen King. I lent out my shortest book, Small Boat, to my sister. You can always do your second shortest while she's reading that. If we can stick with a series, I'll be going with Before They Were Hanged by Joe Abercrombie. Nice. Starting my new job tomorrow. After a long stretch of unemployment, I'm going to read my shortest, Monk and Robot by Becky Chambers, instead of the series on there, as I'll read it eventually. Nice. That's smart. Sounds good. Do you count DNFs as completing a prompt? Yes, I do. I think the real goal of TBR Spin is to work on books that are on your TBR, which maybe you weren't sure when you wanted to read. I always pick the oldest books on my TBR for that reason. But part of that is discovering that maybe you actually don't want to read that book or finish it or whatever. And that is still a win, no matter how much of the book you do end up reading. If you end up deciding to DNF it, that still counts. If you are participating in the Storygraph Challenge, I don't think they yet count DNFs as completing a prompt. But what I usually do is throw just like a random book that I did finish onto as a part of it. But then I say to hide it from the challenge. There's like a little checkbox you can say so that other people aren't seeing it, because sometimes like it doesn't actually match the prompt at all. I just wanted to say that I've completed it. So that's the only caveat. If you're using Storygraph, you kind of have to like finagle it a little bit. But yeah, DNFs absolutely count. Stephen King, but both of those are already. Did I think I already answered this, but I would say to pick one of those. I think the spirit of the swap is to focus on books that we have multiple books. If you have multiple books by one author. Managed to grab my spin before I got jumped by a black cat. Love it. Good job. I'll have to check my stack when I return home. Going to read the shortest, Rococo. Now I know what's happening. I'm spending this time with you answer questions, picking 10 books to join in. Love it. Welcome any advice from people how you chose a good variety. I'm bad at variety because I just go with the oldest. So it kind of depends. Usually it ends up being a mix for me of literary fiction and thrillers, oddly. But although last year was kind of nonfiction, and so I guess it kind of just depends on probably on what I was purchasing however long ago. You could pick the shortest Stephen King. Ooh, that's a good idea. Also, I like that idea because I know the reason why I wanted The Little Friend on here is because I know I'm going to be reading it this month anyways. So I wanted an equally terrifyingly large book to get, because I'm going to be removing this from my TBR spin stack. I don't usually do this. I try not to read my TBR spin stack unless it comes up. But I did agree to do a buddy read for The Little Friend this month, which is why I was really hoping I would get it. So I am going to be replacing it with, here, let me make myself big. I'm going to be replacing it with The Long Walk to Freedom by Nelson Mandela. So, I mean, pretty equally terrifying. So that's now a possibility for the future, but I'm reading The Little Friend this month, so it's coming off of my stack. Um, but yeah, so maybe it's a good idea to do the shortest Stephen King. Decided to pick The Compound. Nice. I picked my books based on ones that I've owned for a long time. Yeah. I would the Time War is technically shortest, but it's a little intimidating to me for some reason. Yeah, I I struggled with This Is How You Lose the Time War personally. But I do know that people love it. It's a very like love it or hate it book. Um which I feel like makes it clear which side I'm on. Uh How You Lose the Time War was my January read. It would be cool to know what the most popular TBR spin books are. Ooh, that would be cool. I mean, if people are using the story graph to actually track their stuff, which some people do, um, actually quite a few people do, it would be cool to like go back through and check because I think that we've been doing that from the beginning, like back when Jill and I first started this, when we were both doing it. Okay, but we are going to go ahead and start the first reading sprint. So let's see. I need a different screen share. I'll figure out which of my Stephen Kings are the shortest, and I'll go with that one. And then we are going to be reading for 40 minutes. And I think that that's everything. During this time, I'm also going to be updating. I'm going to add a little ticker here on the bottom that shows what the prompt is for anybody that joins late. I'm also going to be adding it to the story graph challenge so that it's written in there. It already has the month name in there. We'll just be able to actually fill in the prompt. And I'll put in any like caveats that we kind of talked through during the chat session so that everybody understands. This is a confusing one. This is a hard one. But yeah, I think that that's everything. And I'll probably also figure out what my next live shows or reading sprints are going to be because I like knowing them before I ever end my previous reading sprints, if that makes sense. Okay, 40 minutes. Happy reading, everybody. Hopefully that wasn't as loud for everybody else as that was for me. That was so loud. Okay, how did we do? Did I terrify everybody? All right. I think I missed a couple. Also struggled with How You Lose the Time War. Switching to the oldest book on my physical TBR based on what you said. Nice. But now they're books I'm thinking, should I unhaul this? Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's part of the the point. Even this wasn't even on my list, and I'm not so sure about it. I don't know. I mean, I do know why I ended up picking it up initially, but I think the thought process, or my thought process about deciding which books to add to my TBR, has changed since I picked it up. Okay. It's hard going for sure. I'm assuming that's about How You Lose Time War. During the sprint, I'm trying to make progress in Dawn by Octavia E. Butler. Unfortunately, so far not clicking with it. Oh, that stinks. Listening to the message, nice. Oh, so good. I loved This Is the Time War, just to add a conflicting opinion. I read it in one sitting. Wow, the prose, let the prose kind of wash over you and don't take things too literally. That is good advice. I think that's part. I struggle with prose a lot, especially like really flowery prose. And so I think that was my main problem with that book, and probably what a lot of people that don't like the book struggle with, if I had to guess, because it is definitely like it dives into it. And sometimes, like, there are certain books now that I've been able to read with more prose and liked, but that one was not one of them. I think it was just like a little bit too far for me to like really, but it has been many years since I read it. So I think I read it like just after it came out. Also in one sitting, I read the text alongside the audio together and it helped a lot. Oh, interesting. Swapping Death Comes for the Archbishop for my Antonia. Nice. Swapping Blonde Roots for Mr. Loveman? Is it Loverman? Loveman. Is this Bernadine Evaristo? I'm assuming. Just asked my library to buy Inverse Cowgirl so I can read it for Intersex Her Kid Prompt. Yay. Yeah, I had to go back through because there was 2 books that were recommended that I was like, I can't remember what they were called now. And I had to go back through and add them to my story graph to read, but that was one of them. Thanks for doing this challenge. I'm really enjoying it. Oh, yay. Don't have one to swap. So my shortest one is by a local author. Nice. From where I grew up in Tennessee. Have been looking forward to this one. Awesome. Oh, Sarah, bringing new people into our challenge. Only 3 of the 13 international book are available at my local library. I've spent this whole sprint updating my reading spreadsheet and story graph. Can't believe how long it took me. Honestly, I did like a lot of other stuff. Like I made it through just like the prologue of this and a little bit of the first chapter. Yes, right? Okay. It wasn't just me. Oh, Curtis is laughing because he thinks I'm talking about a different jump scare. Hold on. I'm turning down my volume because I'm worried it's going to attack again. But while we were in the middle and I was reading, Curtis scared me from the doorway. And I'm sure that if anybody was watching the video, you would have seen me jump. What a coincidence. I'm reading my shortest book, which is Death for the Archbishop. And I see someone else swap that out. That's funny. Read the first couple scenes from Streetcar. Already finished my book for the month because my shortest was a manga I have been strangely intimidated by. Currently reading One Day Everyone Will Always Been Against Us. Clearly a very heavy book. Yes, that is on my list for this month. I really wanted it to come up for February, but I had a wheel controlling my reading and it did not. I've read 31 pages. This book is only 180, so I'll probably finish it today. Awesome. Oh yeah, Death Comes for the Archbishop. I definitely learned a lot about activism regarding intersex folks. 20 pages of my buddy read, which isn't my spin book, but might start that next. Yeah, I do need to start. Actually, I need to like organize the buddy read because I think we're going to use Storygraph. So I need to set that up. I'll probably do that next sprint. Finish cleaning my flat. Next sprint, I will read a little. Nice. Joined during the sprint. I'm reading Origin by Dan Brown, which is my last try with him. Started to dislike his books, more of a city tour than a thrilling novel. So far, still unsure. Yeah, I read Da Vinci Code, and it was like, I didn't like love it. I didn't hate it, but it didn't make me want to read more from him. I did almost 2 chapters of The Picture of Dorian Gray. It's good so far. I actually read more than 1 page a minute, which is pretty fast for me. Oh, that's awesome. I struggle with starting new books. Yes, same, until I'm into the stories. So sprints help me focus a lot to get over that. That is exactly why I start my books for TBR Spin during these. Okay, it is Loverman. I was like, I can't remember because I did read that one. I'm excited to see what you think about it. I haven't read Blonde Roots. Actually, Mr. Loverman's the only book that I've read by her. I'm 65% through Dawn. So let's see how far I'll get in the next sprint. Awesome. Yeah, it's only going to be 1 more sprint also, and it's going to be a little bit shorter because I do have to get to a friend's house. So we'll probably do like a 30-minute sprint, and we'll probably start it really soon so that I can hopefully make it. But yeah, so reading Hellbent, got it through Livy, and need to return it in 10 days. Burn the Sea by Mona Tawari. It's a fantasy retelling of the Portuguese attacks on South India in the 1500s. Excited to read this as it's going towards my Herkia challenge. Oh, that's okay. Let me know. I'm going to put a star on this because I decided that this could be a really helpful way to do TBRs. Can somebody let me know what that does, if like you can see it on your end, or if it's just for me? Because that would be really helpful if it's just for me, and I can use that when there's books that I'm interested in, and I can just add a star on my side and then go back to them later. I love A Picture of Dorian Gray, one of my favorite classics. That's good because I'm hoping to read it this year. I got 2 chapters done in the sprint. So good. Reading When We Were Brilliant. Oh. Marilyn Monroe through a beautifully kind lens. Oh. Releasing Our Burdens, which is about healing individual and collective trauma. Heavy but a good Sunday read. Another intersex rec, if anyone needs it, is Nobody Needs to Know by Pigeon Pagonis. This was a good memoir I read last month. Ooh, okay. I like having these, especially I'm assuming that the Queer Rainbow is going to come back as a challenge for her kid. I have no idea, though. I don't know anything. I don't have any of the insights. Actually, I do know a little thing just because I watched some of a live show. But mom's the word on it. So we've been told not to spread it. But I'm sure that the announcement will come soon. So I jumped and laughed. Yeah. And then I kept laughing because I kept hearing him laugh as he walked away. Just got Catavassus on Kobo for $4.99. Not sure if that was a typo. Human Acts by Hong Kong. I finally reached 100 pages. Book is taking me a month to read. Honestly, yeah, I feel like as an author, it's just like a long, slow-paced author to read from. I'm on vacation, so I only have 3 books. I'm loving my book, but I have 8-hour train ride tomorrow, so I'm considering reading something else so I can keep switching books when I burn out tomorrow. Smart. My copy of the uncensored Picture of Dorian Gray comes in Wednesday. Unbelievably excited. Oh, that's right. I feel like we were talking about this. Very cool. Yes, another typo in the last comment. I also have Girl, Woman, Other, but Mr. Loverman is calling to me more. Yeah, I do really want to read Girl, Woman, Other. I really liked Mr. Loverman. I think I read it for a book club, and the other people didn't like it as much as me. So, but I liked it. I'm hoping that this is explained. I remember talking about it. I think it's just like kind of more, or what the original way, and then they like just took parts out or something. This was one I came away wanting to read after. Oh, nice. Close to the original version that Oscar Wilde wrote. Okay. A lot more of a homosexual undertone. That's right. But due to the time it was written in, yeah, had to censor it. Silly. Really loud. I am gonna change this to be shorter. I should probably do 25 minutes if I'm being realistic with myself and how long it'll take to drive, and I still have to pick up some stuff. Okay, um, the problem is Focus is always the bane of my existence when I try to change, uh, anything. Here, let me you all start reading. I'm gonna get a timer going so we don't waste this time. But happy reading, everybody. There'll be roughly 25 minutes on the timer, and it'll be shown soon. Okay, hopefully that was a less terrifying uh, end of end of reading sprint noise. I didn't read. I read like maybe a page. I was so distracted getting the buddy read like planned out, setting up some plans for the future. But also, I think I'm gonna do some reading sprints next weekend. I think on the 7th, so Saturday, about the same time, but for longer, just because I feel like I got no reading done, and I need a do over. And this one was so short, so I think that would be fun. Uh, but Louise Erdrich, right? I'm pretty sure that's pronunciation. Book. I think I've only read one by her, or no, I always mix her up with somebody else, and I haven't read anything by her. I think that's actually the reality. I have a couple others by her on my shelves. I think I'll go with Tracks. Nice. I bailed on Dawn. I think the main reason is that under the current circumstances, I don't want to read about something I can't say because it's a spoiler, but it has to do with human stupidity. Fair. Yeah. I won't be surprised if I have a feeling I'm gonna DNF this. I don't like saying that this early on in a book, but I don't know why. No, I do know why I picked it. It's literally somebody left a comment once about this book on a different Stephen King video that I did like 3 years ago, and it was like in my brain, and then it was like $1 at a used bookstore or something. So I was like, well, obviously I'm gonna get it. But it's the protagonist is a little girl, and I always struggle with protagonists that are children, and it just I don't know. I don't think so far it's not my kind of book, but I'm gonna try to give it 50 pages and then decide. I'm late here, but I'm reading my February book, Crying in H Mart. The switch will be Percival Everett book, Telephone, or my Louise Erdrich book that might read. Nice. Making good progress on my homework. I think I've earned a nap. I agree. Perfect timing. Just finished my nonfiction book for February. Oh, perfect. Oh yes, please. It's on your way out. If you could add a like, that really helps more people find it. I've managed to do 29 pages, and I'm cool with that because I don't want to rush my book. Nice. Would love a Saturday sprint. Okay, yeah, I think that would be great to do next week. Since this one had to be a little short, we'll make up for it. She's awesome. I said I won't be here next Saturday, but please record it. Yeah, it should. I think all my lives are always available on YouTube afterwards. So if you don't get to join for it. Yeah, I do need to read her. She wrote The Sentence, right? That's the main one that like comes to my brain. Spent this sprint finishing my book for her kid, March secret prompt, which involves scrolling on social media until I saw a book. Which book did you end up choosing? I can't remember. The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon by Stephen King. Just like a random Stephen King I probably wouldn't ever have picked up, except for I got that comment with somebody being like, it's incredible. And it is on the Appalachian Trail, which that part I like, but I just really struggle with very young protagonists. And I think she's like 9. And I don't love Stephen King's writing. Like I'm not like a huge Stephen King fanatic, but I do like it. And I do like his, the classic stories by him that I've read so far. Although my favorite is still one that I wouldn't call a classic, but they did make a TV show about it, which was Under the Dome. That's still my favorite Stephen King. But yeah, I don't think that today I would have picked this up, even if I did see it in a used bookstore for $1. But Mighty Red, I missed the Y at the end. Oh yeah, okay. It sounded weird coming out of my mouth, but I was like, I just don't know anything, I guess. I struggle with children protagonists too. A big exception is if they're written by Miriam Taus. Oh, interesting. Yeah, even for Frederick Bachman, I like Frederick Bachman, but my least favorite by him is my grandmother asked me to tell you she's sorry or something like that. It's a different title in the UK, so I can't remember what it is there. Sends her regards or something like that. Zuko's on my lap playing with stuff. But How often are your sprints? What's the best way to know when they're upcoming? If they're posted somewhere, would love to put them on the calendar because sometimes the YouTube bell fails me. That's a great question. I usually do one the last weekend of a month. So typically I would have done one the a week ago today. I was just out of town. For TBR Spin, those are the TBR Spin and Sprints. And then besides that, I try to do one other one during another weekend throughout the month. I might start putting in my like comments section, or what is that called? Community. I don't know what that thing is. But on YouTube where you can just like write text, which I'm pretty sure the last one I did was like a post when I went to the Booker Prize in like 2022. But I might start putting there like when the ones are for the upcoming month. So I'm pretty confident on March 7th on doing one then. And then I think March 28th will be my TBR Spin and Sprint. But I'll try to post on there. Otherwise, I don't know where a good place is to I've played around with the idea of putting it like in the description, just like upcoming reading sprints or something like that. But if anybody has any recommendations for a good place to put it, because yeah, I like scheduled this one last month. I think like a full month ago is when I scheduled this one, and I still had people being like, "What's going on with TBR Spin?" So I don't know where the best place is to put that, because clearly just scheduling it is not like enough for it to really to get the word out. It was pronounced Taves. Okay, thank you. Or Tabs, Taves, probably. Yes, the community tab. So maybe that's better. I'll try that. But if anybody has any recommendations, I'm going to end this now. So if you have any recommendations, you can put it in like the comments for this, or I think a few chats still like go through even right after I end it. Or DM me on Instagram or something, whatever. But yeah, I'll try to brainstorm other ways to put out that schedule. And then I've been trying to say it at the end of videos when I think of it, but I don't always publish videos when I think I'm going to publish them initially. So that's kind of hard too. But anyways, I do have to go because I have to head over to my friend's house. But thank you everybody for coming along with me today. And I was going to say reading with me, but I barely read a thing. And hopefully I will see you next weekend or very soon on another reading sprint. Thanks, Sarah. Bye, everyone.